Hello and welcome to this app tour for the Rock of Grace Church app. We like to do these app tours because it gives you an idea of everything that's possible with a church app because there's so many different things that are possible. So we walk through everything that you can do with it. So you can see already here I'm deep pressing on the app icon, and that gives me the ability to access quick actions. So this lets me jump into different areas of the app from outside of the app, and also you can see I have the ability to even share the Rock of Grace app. So instead of pressing one of these and diving right into the specific section, I'm going to press the app icon, and you can see it takes me into the app and asks me if I want to register for push notifications. We highly advise you to do this because this is a great way for Rock of Grace to be able to communicate things to you, whether it's about an upcoming event with registration. So push notification can include details about registration and take you right to where you need to register. But also it could notify you about, say, church being canceled because of snow or something like that. So push notifications are the very best way for Rock of Grace to be able to reach out to everyone and have everyone be notified if you have the notifications enabled. So we highly advise allowing notifications to be enabled. Okay, and now in the bottom of the screen you can see you have the 6 different tabs, and those will take you to the 6 main areas of the app. So first of all, let's go into the notes section. In the notes section, you have an outline of the week's message. So you can see here we have an outline for the message God is Creator from the God is series, and you have the God is sermon series banner there at the top. And not only is it neat that you have access to the sermon notes here, or I'm sorry, to the sermon outline here, but also you can see at the top of the notes it says touch any section to take a note. So for God is Creator, I can go ahead and press God is Creator. I can touch it, and then it brings up the ability to take a note. So I'm just going to type, you wouldn't actually type this, but note on the title. So you can see this is the note I took on the title, and I'm going to press add, and you see next to God is Creator now there's a little note symbol showing I have taken a personal note on that section of the sermon. If I go ahead and press God is Creator again, there is my note waiting for me, so I could take additional notes, I could change the notes, or whatever if for some reason I feel like I want to go in and adjust what's written there. So as the sermon continues, let's say Jordan goes on to talk about Genesis 1:1 and says something about in the beginning God created. I could tap that and say, I love what Jordan said about Genesis 1:1 as a note. So, I mean, I can write as much as I want here. I'm just doing quick notes. Normally, I use this personally for my church. Normally, I'm writing paragraphs for each of the notes on what the pastor's saying to me. So there's unlimited space, which is one of the powerful things about this. But then you can see there's another note symbol. So as I scroll through here, it's really easy to see on the left-hand side where I've taken a note, because it's either white space or there's a note symbol showing that I've taken a note. And you can see also you can have Bible passages like Genesis 1:1 through 31 here, all in here. So long scripture passages, entire chapters can be added to the sermon notes to be able to be read. Once the message is done, you have the ability in the bottom here to press the email sermon button. So I'm going to go ahead and press that. And it brings up an email form which will have the sermon outline in it. But even more than that, it has the notes that I took, where I took them inside of that email. So you can see God is Creator, and then my personal note, note on the title. So when I scroll down here to Genesis 1:1, there it is. I love what Jordan said about Genesis 1:1. So if I had taken a note on Genesis 1:1 through 31, here at the bottom, there would have been another note there that I had taken. So this gives you the ability to be able to email the notes to yourself, and you could even set up an email folder in your email client, like say Gmail, and make it so these emails go into that folder. And that way you have an archive of all of the sermon notes you've taken, and now you don't have to worry about losing paper notes. You have unlimited space. So this can be a very powerful tool for someone that enjoys taking notes in church. So I'm going to go ahead and press the cancel button in the top left corner and delete that email. And you can see also in the bottom right corner of the screen there are 2 magnifying glasses, one with a plus and one with a minus. The plus will make the font get bigger, and the minus will make the font get smaller. And once you adjust that, the app will remember what setting you had. So when you come back into next week's notes, the notes will be different, but the font setting will be the same. Note that when new notes are posted, your old notes are deleted. So make sure to email the notes. Usually it's best to email the notes after the message is done on Sunday. But if you wait until the following Friday or Saturday, if new notes are posted, your notes will be deleted out because now new notes are there. So your personal notes are gone. So make sure to email those to yourself. Next up, let's go to the Bible section, the second tab from the left. In the Bible section, you have access to Rock of Grace's Bible reading plan. You can see it gives me 2 scriptures for today. Some days will give you 3 or 4 scriptures. Some will give you just 1 scripture to read. But you are given these scriptures and you just touch the scripture. So today, Genesis 1, 1 through 31 and Genesis 2, 1 through 25. I'm going to press Genesis 1, 1 through 31. It takes me right into the scripture. It didn't even need to load because it had already loaded the scripture and it's natively displayed within the app. So once again, I have a magnifying glass here where I can zoom in or zoom out, and this is separate from the sermon notes. If for some reason I want the sermon notes to be zoomed way in, whereas this I actually want smaller, I could adjust them and the app will remember those 2 settings separate from each other. And then below that, you can see you have a left arrow and a right arrow. The right arrow will take you further through today's reading. The left arrow would take you back the way you came. So if I press the back arrow now, you can see it takes me out to where I was, but you can also see now there's a green check mark indicating that I have read Genesis 1, 1 through 31. So if I go back in now and press the right arrow, now I'm in Genesis 2, 1 through 25. If I press it again, it finishes the reading plan for me. So, well, today's reading of the reading plan for me. So you can see the 2 check marks are there, and now when I come back to the app, say tomorrow, it will load into day 2 of week 1. Or if I want to read more today, you can see at the bottom of the screen there's a right arrow and a left arrow. If I press the right arrow, it'll take me to day 2 of week 1. So if I want to continue reading, I do have the ability to do so. Also, if I say I run into someone at church and they say, hey, I'm on week 35 or day 3 of week 35, I can press in this top right corner is this clock, and this gives me the ability to jump right to any week and any day. So I could do week 35, day 3, and I would press set new starting date, and it would take me right to start there, and then the app would always remember that that is the day I'm on, and I will move forward from there like that is day 1. I'll still end when they end, but it will start me right where they are, so I just automatically catch up with them instead of having to quickly flip through or indicate I've read when I haven't actually read, because if they're that far ahead, it's going to take a while for me to be able to catch up with them, where honestly, probably better if I could just automatically catch up with them and then grow with them as they go. You can also see that there's a memory verse of the week. And so that's the memory verse for the week, not for the day. So you'll see if I flip to day 2, it's still Hebrews 11:7. Day 3, Hebrews 11:7. So I'm going to flip all the way to day 5 still. So then when I go to the next one, it'll switch to week 2, and you can see it only went up to day 5. So this reading plan is based off of reading for 5 days of the week. So usually I would think you'd do Monday through Friday, but you can do it however you want. But it's based on reading for 260 days of the year, or 5 days a week for an entire year. So that covers the power of the Bible reading plan. Let's next go to the sermons. I'm going to press the sermons button, which is the 3rd tab from the left. And you can see this takes me into Rock of Grace's sermons, but they're divided by sermon series, making it really easy to navigate through to whatever it is I want to find. So you can see I have Vision Cast is the newest message, God is the 2nd series, the Higher Worship Conference is the 3rd series, and then I have Standalone Messages is the 4th. So standalone means there is no sermon series. It was just a message that is standalone. So let's go ahead and go into the God Is series. So the 2nd series from the top, I'm just going to touch the God Is image, and it'll take me into all of the sermons in the God Is series. And you can see there's multiple sermons for God Is, and I can see from the top sermon is going to be the newest sermon in the series. The bottom sermon is going to be the oldest sermon in the series. If I press back, all of these series are listed from the series with the newest message in it. So the newest message posted to Rock of Grace is in the Vision Cast. So as I go down, I can see the newest messages posted to a series. So let's go back into God Is, and then let's just go into the newest message there from February 6th. If I select that, you can see it gives me the ability to watch right there as a video player for me, so I am ready to watch the message if I want. And below that, you can see the name of the sermon series, the speaker, the date it was given, and then I have the ability to listen to audio or watch. So technically, in that player up above, I could just press the play button, or I can press the watch button and it will take me to a completely new screen. Also, below that, you can see you even have a short description for the message, and it's scrollable, so there can be a lot of details down there if we want. And then above the watch button you have listen to audio and a download button. So I'm going to go ahead and press the listen to audio button, and that will take me to the audio player. If you give it a second, it has to buffer because it's streaming, and then there it is, the audio is now playing. So something really neat about this is you can see the audio is playing, and you have that simulated equalizer at the bottom of the screen. Something that can be a little difficult in apps where there's audio playing is if you navigate away from the audio player, it can be difficult to get back to the audio player, to be able to figure out how to pause it without just going out of the app and like pulling down from the top of the screen. So let's go ahead and go to the notes section, which we started at. You can see the equalizer is actually following us through the app to indicate audio is playing right now. What I can do is I can touch that equalizer, which I'll do right now. It takes me right back to the audio that's playing. So it's an easy way to, one, see that there's audio playing, and two, to be taken back to the audio player. Also in the audio player, you can see right below the count up and count down timers is a bar. I can run my thumb across that, and I can go ahead and scrub to any section of the sermon I want to go to. And there it goes, it's playing again. Also, there's obviously the play and pause button, and you can see when I play and pause, the equalizer will even animate in and out, showing that the audio is pausing or playing. So I'm going to go ahead and press the back button in the top left corner. So what we were doing there is we were streaming the message. So I'm using data wherever I am. Right now I'm on Wi-Fi, so it doesn't matter, but I'm going to be using data. But let's say I want to be able to download a message so I don't have to use data. I want to download it on Wi-Fi so I can go out and run. That's what the button next to the listen to audio button is. That's a download button. So I'm going to go ahead and press that, and you can see it's going to quickly show a nice little animation showing real time how the audio is being downloaded. So if there's a huge file, you'll see that move a little slower, but I mean that was a 39-minute file we just downloaded, so it's a pretty quick download. And you can see it says now we have it downloaded so we can listen offline. So if I press listen to audio now, boom, it loaded right away. And also when I scrub, it's immediately playing again because it doesn't have to load because now the audio is fully downloaded. Also here, when you're viewing the details for a message, in the top right corner of the screen, you can see a share button. If I press that, it will give me all the different ways that I can share this message with someone. So let's say the message speaks to me and I want to share it with a friend of mine. I could say email it, so I'm going to press mail, and there it is. Here's a message I like from Rock of Grace, and there's a link to that video of the message. Also, let's say I wanted to post it on social media saying, oh man, the message today at Rock of Grace was so good. I can go here and say pick Facebook, and then it will pull up Facebook from within the app where there's that video link to the message with the embedded player ready to go. So it gives you a great way to be able to share Rock of Grace messages from within the app, and you could have just listened to the message, been like, that was fantastic, pressed back, and then shared the message on Facebook, say, and it will share it like that in a beautiful way with an embedded player. So last of all here, I'm back at the list of sermon series. Note in the top right corner there's a folder button. That's how you can access downloaded messages. So if I go back into God Is in the top message, you can see now there's an X next to listen to audio because I've downloaded that message. Where if I press back and let's press the second message in that list, you can see there's a download button because I have not downloaded that one. So here in the top right corner on the main list of sermon series in that folder, I can select that and you can see there is God Is. So it divides still by sermon series. It will divide your downloaded messages by sermon series, making it even easier to navigate your downloaded messages. Then if I press God Is, it will take me into the messages in that series just like it would for the non-downloaded versions, and here is that message ready to listen to. And you can see you can also share from here as well. And you can see when you're viewing the message, I remember there's an X there instead of a download button. Now you can press that and it will allow you to download, or I'm sorry, to delete your download. So it won't remove the ability to ever listen to the sermon again. It will just take the data off of your phone for that downloaded message. And then also here, let's say you're someone that I love running and listening to messages. So I always end up with, like literally 30, 40 messages downloaded from a church. And that can take up quite a chunk of space on your phone or whatever device you're using. Well, in the top right corner here in the downloaded section, you have a trash can. And that gives you the ability to just in one button press, delete every message that you've downloaded. You can still go down here and all of your messages will be here waiting for you. So it's not like you're removing the ability to listen to sermons, but it will remove that data data from your phone, giving you a way to easily just get rid of all of that storage that you're using up, if, say, you do have 40 messages you've downloaded and already listened to. So that covers the power of the sermon section. Let's next go to the events section, which is the third tab from the right. Here, you have a list of all of Rock of Grace's events, and you can see for any event you have an Add to Calendar button and an Information button. So first of all, the Information button gives you access to a lot of different possibilities. First of all, you can just have basic information. So for instance, on the Sunday morning worship, I'm going to press the Information button, and you can see it says what the event is, and we look forward to worshiping with you. So there's a little message that Rock of Grace has already put in there. But second of all, for the SIPC carols, if I go ahead and press the Information button, then there's a lot more details, and there's an email address. So you can see, since there's an email address, it gives me the ability to close, which will back out of it, or if I press Information again, it gives me the ability to email. So if I press email, it pulls up an email form, it fills out the email address for me, and even fills out the subject to be contacting about, and then whatever the name of that event will automatically be filled in. And all of this happens while keeping me within the Rock of Grace app. So I can easily go through here, I can contact, I can visit websites even, and you can see if there's the ability to register for an event. A button will pop up below the Add to Calendar Information button that says Register for Event. For instance, look at the Breakfast with the Guys event there on February 20th. You can see there's a Register for Event button there, and if I press it, it's set to take me to the Rock of Grace website. So now I'm on the Rock of Grace website, but this could take you to a Google form where you could sign up. It could take you to a Planning Center form where you could sign up. So this gives the ability to be able to easily see what events you can register for, and then you can immediately jump to the registration for that event. As a side note, the Register for the Breakfast with the Guys is actually something we added in for this video just to show an example of what that button looks like. So if you're going and looking to register for that event, you actually can't. But also, I could press the information for that, and you can see there's the register button as well as any additional information that was added for that event. So one other thing you can see is for every event, there's an Add to Calendar button. You may be asking yourself, why would I want to add it to my calendar when it's already here in the calendar? But the thing is, what you're looking at here is the Rock of Grace calendar. You're not looking at your personal calendar on the device. So what the Add to Calendar button will do is it will add this event to your personal calendar. So say you're on an iOS device like an iPhone, it will add it to your iCalendar. Let's say you're on an Android phone, it will probably add it, I say probably, based on what calendar you have on there, it will add it to most likely a Google Calendar. So let's go ahead and for the LAM Youth Ministries, I'm going to press Add to Calendar, and the first thing it's going to do, the very first time you ever press the button, it's going to say, hey, will you allow us to add stuff to your calendar? Because you don't want the app to just be throwing stuff on your calendar accidentally. I'm going to give it permission, and then it's going to say event has been added. So now on my personal calendar on my iPhone on February 18th at 6:30 p.m. I have the event added, LAM Youth Ministries. This gives me the ability to be able to quickly scroll through here and find everything that's relevant to me and my family and just quickly tap, 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 tap and add all of those events to our calendar. My wife's calendar is actually linked to my calendar, so that means it's also adding it to her, so our entire family is getting the events added to our calendar, so we'll get reminders about them, and they'll be on our personal calendars instead of just inside the app, which is very powerful because many times you'll see maybe a church will have a calendar and you only have the ability to sync the entire calendar, or you have to manually enter events in. Now you can scroll through here and just pick the events that are relevant to you instead of clogging your calendar up with things that might not have anything to do with you. For instance, a board meeting. I would see that on my calendar if I synced the entire calendar, whereas most people that's not very relevant to. So this gives the ability to make the calendar super powerful for so many different things, whether that be registration, contacting leaders, or even adding the events to your personal calendar. So next up, let's look at the second tab from the right, the path. This section gives you the new Rock of Grace, the path, and you can access any of these steps. You simply touch a step and it will take you to additional details about that step. And you can see each one has both the title, so for instance, 3 serve, step 3 is serve, as well as a subtitle giving you a quick snippet of what that will be. And then you can tap into each of those and read. Some of them will allow you to register, for instance, for life groups. Some of them will allow you to register for baptism. So it's a powerful section. Honestly, it doesn't make sense for us to go through each of those right now, but I know for a fact at Rock of Grace you're going through these right now. So you have a deep understanding and will get a deeper understanding of these. And then the app also gives you an even another way that you can access that information. So last of all, on the right side is giving. So I'm going to press giving, and this gives you the ability to see the different ways that you can give at Rock of Grace. You can see you have the Rock of Grace address. You can give by envelope or by mailing to the address, or you have the digital giving button. And so that screen there for digital giving, you can see it's actually a button. I can press that and it will take me to Rock of Grace's safe and secure way to give from the app. And I can press back and go back into the app, and you can touch anywhere there. I could even touch that text that says digital giving and it will take me there. So that gives you a great idea of everything that's possible with the Rock of Grace Church app. If you're interested in finding out more things you can do with the FaithLink app, make sure to visit our website at faithlinkapps.com.